What's up, you beautiful toadstools? Hoping you're having a fantastic Toads Day. Welcome back to the Super Nintendo Show, and let's just jump into it. First thing I want to talk about, the most requested story of the day, is what happened in Mushroom Kingdom. Princess Peach has been captured again, and I'll give you a guess who it is. It's Bowser again. I mean, seriously, she's been captured how many times over the past 30 years? The Mushroom Kingdom needs to invest in better security. It's not like there's a lack of funds anywhere. I mean, there's literally money laying around all over the place. But you have Bowser in his airship like you had in Super Mario 3, and then Mario has to chase after Peach in his new airship, which looks like a top hat. So that's pretty cool. But it's powered by moons instead of stars, so that's what you're collecting now. Also, he's got this weird hat that possesses people. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Captures people. It's not possess. So Mario captures different characters, which gives them different abilities and also helps them reach different moons that are laid out throughout the kingdoms. So other than that, it's essentially Super Mario 64 with better graphics. But that's not a bad thing, because Mario 64 was one of the best handled Marios in recent time. You have all the classic moves here. You got the wall jump, you got the side-to-side jump, ground stomp. If Mario 64 was the last game that you've played, then you'll feel right at home with Super Mario Odyssey. Now let's talk about something I love today and awesome, brought to you by Crazy Cap. Crazy Cap has locations scattered all across almost all 14 different kingdoms. You can customize Mario any way that you want. You can either buy costumes with gold coins or purple coins, which are exclusive to the area that you're in. Each kingdom has about anywhere from 50 to 100 coins that you need to collect in various areas to buy those exclusive uniforms. The uniforms that are exclusive to the area are ones that allow you to get into special areas and get moons. And of course there's different outfits. You got the Explorer outfit, you got Southwest outfit, you even got floaties with a scuba diving mask that doesn't really do anything, it's just cosmetic. And you can even get boxer shorts for 1,000 coins, which really makes you think what Mario's wearing under those overalls. I hope he's not going commando, because that could cause some royal shaping. The best thing about Crazy Cap is that all the costumes are obtained in the game. There's no outside currency that is required to buy these costumes, and that's very refreshing given the current climate of microtransactions and loot boxes. Any other company would have locked those behind loot boxes, and you would just hope that you didn't get the Mario cap for the 5th time in a row. But that's not to say Mario Odyssey is immune from these types of practices. You got these Amiibos, which can unlock certain things in the game. The Wedding Princess Peach unlocks a wedding outfit for Mario. You can buy it after the game is complete, but Princess Peach unlocks it right away. Because they're cosmetic, also you can put them on your shelf. It's not that big of a deal, but still, to have certain items locked behind the Amiibos. Bowser Amiibo helps you find purple coins, and the Mario Amiibo gives you invincibility. Of course, you can use any Mario or any Bowser. You don't have to use the Wedding Bowser or the Wedding Mario. So that's nice if you already have them laying around. And then also other Amiibos, they can either give you coins or extra heart containers or something like that to help you along the way. It's not game breaking, but it's still kind of a little bit iffy. At least it's not like Samus Returns, where one Amiibo was actually locking the extra hard mode. So that's good. And then other outfits are kind of inexpensive as well. You can spend 50 coins for a hat and 150 or so for a shirt. Basically, you can spend about like 15 minutes or so getting that amount of currency, given the amount of coins that are all around the place. Plus, coins respawn, so if you find like a big cache of the coins in certain areas, you can just go back and just find those coins over again. So then the question is asked, do you buy Super Mario Odyssey? Super Mario Odyssey is by far the best Nintendo Switch exclusive game that you can buy this year. Is it a Game of the Year contender? Yes. Will it win Game of the Year? Don't really think so. Most of my gripes with it is that the story is a little bit too short, which opens the game up for more collectathon things. So if that's what you're into, then definitely it's the Game of the Year. But for me, like a story-driven Mario, like Mario 64 took me a long time to beat the end story because you needed 72 stars to get to Bowser at the end. But in here, I finished the game with 150 stars, or sorry, moons. And that, it took me a couple of days, like on and off. Like I didn't really play it that much this weekend, and I played a couple of times and then I got to the end boss, and I was very surprised that I got that far so fast. So moons are all over the place, and they're not as hard to get as Mario 64 was. But I mean, if you're definitely into completing the game, there's tons more content after the story is completed. The gameplay is pretty tight. It does have some motion controls where you have to like shake as you're flinging Cappy to make him spin around or do this like dive move, but it's not necessary to do. But it kind of stinks that those two moves are exclusive to motion controls. You can also shake the controller to move a little bit faster and everything like that. So it's not like it's dominating the game, but I just wish that Nintendo would realize that motion controls for platforming games like this are kind of over. But motion controls on handheld are definitely a no-go. Like I seriously thought that I would fling the Switch out of my hands when doing it, so it's definitely one of those setbacks, which I'm surprised Nintendo didn't think of when they were implementing motion controls for the handheld. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Do you play with the Joy-Cons, or do you play with the handheld, or do you take the Joy-Cons out and then move them around like the motion controls suggest? I'd like to hear what you think down in the comments down below. And then you got Cappy's moves. Cappy is pretty much your go-to thing. What's cool about Cappy is when you capture enemies, each enemy has different moves. So different bosses require you to actually use captured enemy to defeat it. Like there's early on in the game in New Donk City, you can get into tanks and actually shoot at items and everything like that. And so to defeat one of the bosses, you have to get into the tank and then shoot. So that's really cool, I think. Definitely a different change of pace compared to just being a HD Mario 64, which probably would have gotten stale really quick. So one of the things that some people haven't really talked about is that this is a very accessible Mario. If you've never played Mario before, this game is definitely be a lot easier for you with the assist mode. Now, a lot of us Mario veterans didn't really use it, but for review purposes, I did. Basically, what it does is it increases your hit points from 3 to 6. Instead of instantly dying, you are taken back to the original area and you're given a 1 hit point off. And also, your hit points regenerate after time. So if you're low, really low on health, and you just have to sit there for a little bit and then you're back to normal, which can annoy some people, but the fact that it's completely optional is definitely a good thing. It doesn't break the storyline of Mario, and as a matter of fact, you can use it anytime that you want. So if you're stuck on a specific area that you just can't get through, you can just hit the start menu, go into the options, hit assist mode, and then it'll take you back to your last save point, and then you can use it there. It'll also give you arrows on the ground to certain objectives, which is, you know, decent because some of these maps are kind of hard to navigate. And then speaking of navigation is really simple in this game. So once you get to specific checkpoints, you can then warp to those areas. So you just pull up your map and you go, well, I need to go back to the ship because I got enough moons. So you don't have to walk all the way back. You can just, you know, pull up the map and then just warp back to your ship and biggity bam, you're done. But even without the assist mode, the game is fairly forgiving. You don't have any lives this time around. Instead, when you die, you lose 10 coins, which if you're in certain areas where you die and you lose the 10 coins, all those coins respawn, so you get those 10 coins back plus more. So it's almost impossible to get a game over in this game. I like the fact that platformers are doing this. They're getting rid of the live system because they know that it's very frustrating to start all the way back from the beginning of a level just because you ran out of lives. Cuphead actually does this. Cuphead is one of the harder platforms of the year. And basically you get 3 to 4 hits and you're dead, but you go back to the beginning of this particular stage. You don't go back all the way back to the end of the game and then have to go through it. And that allows developers to be more challenging with these levels. You know, for the most part, you had to make the levels fast, but not so difficult that it would be super frustrating. Can you imagine playing certain levels over and over and over again until you got it right, but you would get all the way to the end and get a game over and have to start all the way at the beginning, especially with an 8-hour game? I know some people like that. They play survivor mode on Fallout, but not for a Mario game. But Mario is challenging. There's a couple of platforming things and camera angles that made it a little bit frustrating, but overall, Mario is Mario. It's definitely a better, tighter controlled Mario 64. So overall, Mario Odyssey is my favorite Nintendo Switch game of the year. Is it the best Mario of all time? That's gonna be a debate, but it's not my favorite Mario of all time. I'm gonna reserve that for either Super Mario World or Mario 64. Those were definitely my top, but Mario Odyssey is definitely a solid title I suggest that you pick up. And that's where I'm gonna end this review. If you have a Nintendo Switch, Mario Odyssey is a must-have title. I mean, why did you buy a Nintendo Switch in the first year if you weren't gonna get Mario? So if you like this video, hit that like button, and if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. You can view my previous videos right up here. But that said, of course, as always, I'm Super Nintendo, and I'll see you next time.